In a quiet village, there lived a young boy named Ramu. If you asked anyone in town about his character, they'd all point to one defining trait. He was consistently, unflinchingly honest. However, honesty alone did not pay the bills. Ramu's family lived on a razor's edge. Their survival depended on his father, a woodcutter who traded back-breaking physical labor for their next meal. Then, their fragile system collapsed. His father fell ill. To keep the family from starving, young Ramu had to step in, lifting a tool far too heavy for him to do a job he was barely old enough to understand. Along with the heavy iron tool, Ramu inherited an adult reality. A single mistake in the forest meant economic ruin for his family. His work took him to the edge of a deep, fast-moving river. The banks were slick, and the margin for physical error was slim. Mid-swing, exhaustion took over. The heavy iron slipped from his grip and quickly vanished beneath the churning surface. That splash signaled a disaster. Without that specific piece of metal, Ramu couldn't cut wood. Without wood, there was no income. In a matter of seconds, his family's only lifeline was severed. His collapse on the riverbank carried the psychological weight of a provider realizing he had just lost his only means of support. That genuine, desperate grief acted as a catalyst. The waters parted, and the river goddess appeared before him. This pyramid chart maps out a deliberate moral stress test. The goddess decides to measure his integrity against his desperation. Starting at the very top, she pulls a solid gold axe from the water and asks, "Is this yours?" That single object holds enough wealth to feed his family for years. It solves his starvation problem in an instant. Yet Ramu looks at the gold and answers without hesitation, "No, mother, this is not mine." He rejects the wealth. By doing so, he lets his internal identity of truthfulness override the external pressure of his poverty. This decision tree flowchart shows the compromise trap. The goddess offers a silver axe, an easier lie to secure unearned wealth. Ramu shuts down that path, refusing the silver firmly. He forces the interaction down to his baseline truth. Finally, the goddess presents a third option. She brings up his actual, everyday iron axe. As the rusted, chipped metal breaks the surface of the water, Ramu's despair vanishes. He cries out, "Yes, mother, that is mine." Notice the source of his happiness. It has no correlation to the market value of the metal. He is thrilled because he has recovered his practical utility and the ability to earn an honest living. The goddess observes his reaction. Ramu successfully navigated all 3 tiers of the moral stress test, refusing every opportunity to exploit his own misfortune. Because of this, she makes a calculated decision. She refuses to return him to his state of poverty. She decides to permanently lift him out of it. She hands him the gold axe, the silver axe, and his original iron tool, allowing him to keep all 3. Dropping his axe into the river was a disaster, but it served as the necessary friction to test his character. Passing that test resulted in a gain far exceeding what a lifetime of manual labor could ever generate. Ramu's encounter in the forest highlights a universal operating principle regarding human behavior and temptation. This abstract geometric equation visualizes the concept. When you take a circle representing solid integrity and multiply it by a triangle of adversity, the result isn't a deficit. It equals an exponentially larger multi-layered reward. Honesty operates as an active, high-yield investment. Had he taken the gold right away, he might have been rich for a moment, but he would have built his life on a theft, a move guaranteeing ruin. Instead, his disciplined truth produced a significant return. It proves the ancient axiom perfectly. Satya ra sada jaya hue. Truth always triumphs. Maintaining your integrity when you have every reason to abandon it is the foundation for his family's long-term security.